Welcome to Just Minding My Business Radio, where we are moving at the speed of God, learning what we didn't know we didn't know. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
So grab a pen and paper and get ready for information that you can use.
Welcome to Just Minding My Business Media, LLC. Consider product placement with Just Minding My Business Media, LLC. Visit our website at jmmbmediallc.com to discover digital products to 10x your business. Contact us at jmmbradio@gmail.com. Cooking is all about people. Food is maybe the only universal thing that really has the power to bring everyone together. No matter what culture, everywhere around the world, people eat together. Guy Fieri. Today we welcome Chef Brother Luck, who is best known for his appearances on Beat Bobby Flay, Top Chef, and Chopped. He is also the founder of the popular Colorado dining destinations For and Lucky Dumpling. Chef Brother Luck began his journey as a teenager when he joined a nonprofit organization, Careers Through Culinary Arts program. His purpose, however, for joining was to be able to eat, but the decision changed the trajectory of his life, helping him to find his purpose and his passion in the culinary arts. In his soon-to-be published book, No Luck's Given, Life is Hard, But There is Hope, Brother, and that is his real first name, takes off the white chef's coat and goes beyond the kitchen to relive his turbulent story to teach readers, even when life gets hard, there is hope. Welcome, Brother Luck.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Yes, welcome. Well, we heard a little bit of your introduction. So talk a little bit about the part where you joined the nonprofit just to eat.
Yeah, I think vocational schools are such an important piece of our communities across the country, and we're losing those. For me, as a adolescent, as a teenager, a junior in high school, being 16 years old, I was placed into a vocational school, and I signed up for Culinary. When they offered me mechanic or cosmetology or JROTC, I said, no, I want food, right? Because that was the one thing that I couldn't guarantee I was going to have every night. So knowing that I was going to get a meal and I was going to learn how to cook became the reason why I signed up. What I didn't expect was I was going to meet such amazing mentors who encouraged me, believed in me, pushed me, gave me discipline, and helped me build confidence within myself. And here we are 25 plus years later, as a chef, as a business owner, and as now an author.
Yes, wow. Life is something.
Amen.
It really is. You just never know. The places that you show up at are destined for you. Mm-hmm. And at the time, we don't even realize that. We just thinking now, not what is this? How's this going to take me? Where's this going to take me later? We don't even think about that. We just, now I need this right now. Let me just go ahead and say yes. Wow, that's definitely a testimonial.
Mm-hmm. So
now,
when did you recognize?
Go ahead, Ruth. I know I got lots of questions.
When did you recognize, beyond the eating? You said that you had great mentors. What was the first thing that captivated you about being in culinary school?
I was intrigued that there was actually textbooks on food. I mean, to not be engaged in school as far as literature or English or mathematics, these things I wasn't interested in these things. Cooking as actual education was something I was just into. My family's Creole, so we grew up on food, and it's what you're surrounded with at the table, the stories and Momo cooking, and all these things are so important. I wanted to learn how to make all these things. I wanted to be able to hang in the kitchen and actually have a decent say so on what was being done.
I think that's very interesting.
Yes, definitely very interesting. Wow. So you talk about when you talk about mentors and the importance of that. Uh we all know, I know for a fact, having a mentor is huge because you don't know what you don't know. And having somebody that is able to kind of shield the bumps and the bumps and the things that you could go through in the industry as you're moving along. Talk about the importance of having a mentor.
Yeah, I think we all need mentors, and sometimes mentors aren't the most. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. And for me, growing up in the streets, growing up in Bay Area, I didn't have the best mentors. They wanted to take advantage of you. They wanted to use you. They wanted you to do things for them, to gain stuff for themselves. Finding positive role models was a completely different game changer. These are people that didn't want anything from me, but to see me successful, to see me gain an education, to see me get out of my situations, to provide me with opportunities to walk through a door and start running. And it's just something I've never forgot. Somebody helped me. Many people helped me. So it's my responsibility to help others throughout, the communities that I get to be a part of.
Yeah.
So how do you go about that? How are you working in your community?
Yeah. So, I start with at risk youth. I mean, that's my story. And, a lot of these young people don't have a father in their lives. They don't have a big brother. They don't have somebody that's going to hold them accountable and really, set them up for success just by being there, being available. So, we start there. We start with a lot of the programs. We start with culinary as a means or a skill. We get them into the kitchen. We start to build relationships. I think mentorship comes down to trust, and you have to be able to break down that wall that most young people have who are at risk, and get their trust to the point of you can now teach them. They can now trust you. They can now build a friendship with you. And this is just one of the many places that I start.
Absolutely. I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's like, what is that saying go? Teach one, you learn, you have to teach somebody else. And that's just the way it is. It's important for your success to give back.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important for your success. So let's talk a little bit about the book. Tell us a little bit of what people can expect in the book.
Yeah, I think those who know me through food. They know me as chef, and I think you get a glimpse of seeing me on some of those programs like Top Chef or Chopped or Beat Bobby Flay. And really, the discussion came down to writing a cookbook, and I didn't feel I had earned the right to tell my perspective on food until people got to know me as a person. Because I think food is a connection to the ghost of your past. These are the spirits before you, and you can channel them, you can talk to them. And I wanted people to understand who I was before I began to write my cookbook. So this is exactly what that is. This is my story as someone who went through a tough childhood, made the decisions to change my situation, pursue a skill, pursue a career, figure out how to get the money to get an education, and eventually led to start my own business. And food's taken me all over the world. There's some really cool stories that are associated with it, but at the same time, there's a lot of trauma that a lot of my story is forcing that into a closet. And I think as you become older, you start to realize that those seals are breaking, and you got to start to deal with that stuff. And I wanna talk about mental health. I want to talk about people being more vulnerable. And I think especially as a strong man, it's okay to talk about your feelings and not be weak. You're not viewed as weak. So it's a big part of the dialogue that we've written throughout the story.
I can't wait to read the book because I think that's important. Everything that we do is all about, empowering, inspiring, and educating people, because at the end of the day, we don't know what people are going through. And this world right now is a mess. So anybody that can lend a positive word to help somebody else, it is just so crucial. So we can't wait to so when is the book release?
The official book is out October 4th, which is exciting. It's coming up pretty quick here. It's available through our website, chefwithaluck.com. It's on Amazon, it's on Barnes and Noble, it's on all of those, audiobook, ebook. I mean, we went all platforms with it. But I wanted to put something together that allowed me to share my testimony, because I think our stories sometimes we downplay because we don't feel they're good enough or compared to others. And your story, you're meant to share your story because your story is meant for somebody else to hear. It's not meant for you. So you have to relive that pain. You have to relive that struggle so someone else can hear those words and hopefully find some encouragement.
Absolutely.
Something that you said, I wanted to just jump back into, and it was all part of this, because as you start to write your story, your memories come back. And one of the things that you said that is very interesting is that we channel sort of the people who have come before us when it comes to food. There are certain foods that I can think of that bring up an emotional memory, and if you could talk a little bit about that in the context of the type of food that you prepare. I heard you talk about being Creole. So is a lot of your work, your culinary skills around Creole foods, or how does that play out? Because I know there's a lot of story in the Creole. I know there's a lot of story in the Creole.
Absolutely. I think Southern food is something I cook for home, and it's something that is where there's so many memories associated. It's just a comfort. It's a comfort food. I think as this country continues to grow and becomes more accepting of the hierarchy, the finesse of traditional Southern cooking, of soul food, of Cajun Creole, we're going to see more and more restaurants, push this Afro-Caribbean style into the masses. My restaurants right now are focused on Southwestern. A lot of my career has been here in the Southwest, being in Colorado, Arizona, Utah, New Mexico. And then I have another restaurant that's Asian and Creole inspired. So I found this beautiful similarity between the Bay or the Gulf down in Louisiana, where my family's at, Slidell, to Hong Kong, and the way they live off the water. And the dependency of the water, and the use of peppers and garlic and bell peppers and onions and scallions. There's this really fun similarity there. So, as far as storyline, my father passed away when I was 10 years old. And shortly before he passed away, I was in 5th grade. I had an assignment, a homework assignment, to create a recipe cookbook for the entire class. So I went home and asked my father. I said, I need a family recipe that I can bring in. And he gave me a recipe for dirty rice. And I remember being so embarrassed about the gizzards and the liver and everybody else had like snickerdoodles and lasagna, and I got chicken livers and gizzards. And he gave me this recipe. It was typed up, it was put in this yearbook, and then he passed away like 2 weeks later. Suddenly, it was one day. And it's really the only recipe I have of him. So when I cook that recipe, I can feel his presence. When I read those words, I know I'm cooking his thoughts, because I remember him writing that recipe down for me, and that comes from my grandmother. That comes from all the generations before that were passed down. So it's just, I think there's stories like that in food that are heirlooms, they're timeless, and you can continuously push them on to the next generations.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things I've done, is I've sat down and wrote all my recipes down for my son. So that way, when I leave this earth, he'll have my recipes. And I do the dirty rice too. Yes, I do dirty rice, and my boys like fried chicken livers. And because I don't do the oil thing, I do the air fry, and they just love it. They just love it. And then my sister, she does the neck bones and collard greens, and they hard to die for. Wow.
There's so many beauties when it comes to Southern food and Afro-Caribbean food. Like being in the hotel industry for so many years, we would bring a lot of Jamaicans here to Colorado to work our summer season. And a lot of them would stay. I built a lot of great relationships with them. And I was actually on the phone with one of my chefs who I worked with 15 years ago. He now owns a Jamaican restaurant in Williamsburg, out in Brooklyn. And I got the chance to go hang out with him last week while I was there. And, his food's amazing. But we're actually trying to set up a mentorship program or a masterclass essentially down in Jamaica to teach more students that there's more than just like, we want to teach you a skill that'll get you into a hotel or a cruise ship.
Right.
We want to give you the business. We want to give you the knowledge, the marketing, the way to network. There's so many things beyond just how to push a knife, how to make a stock, how to make a beautiful, rice pilaf. It's a lot more to it.
So if people want to connect to you and all of your goodies you have, how do they do so?
Yeah, I'm at Chef Brother Luck across the board, from Instagram to Twitter to Facebook to TikTok. I mean, I'm all over the place. My website is chefbrotherluck.com, and that's where you can take a look at the restaurants. You can see the book. Obviously, we have a store there with all the merch, the book, the apparel, all that good stuff. But really, I mean, I'm pretty active on social media, so I think as people follow my stories, they're constantly motivational, right? Because I think we need to be real. We live in this world where we're trying to validate ourselves against people's greatest hits because they're posting the good stuff of their lives. And I think these young people are measuring themselves against something that's not real.
Yes.
That's such a small percent of what this person's life actually looks like. So, I try to keep it real. I mean, I'm 100% honest on what I post, and I got a wife that checks me and goes, "Yo, you getting a little too highlight reel. You need to reel it back in."
Change the vocabulary a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think it's fabulous for you to work with the young people who have a desire for something better. They don't want to be a mechanic or an architect. That's just not their thing. But sometimes they don't even know what they want, but to expose them to something outside of the box, so to speak. Now their imagination goes to work and they start thinking, oh, maybe I don't want to be all those other things, but maybe there's something other than, culinary, but still that creative juices have started to flow.
Absolutely.
Now their imagination and all of that starts coming together. And I think that's very exciting and so necessary for young people. Because too many of them are stuck in front of the television or whatever with their fingers going. And their brains are stuck on whatever. And they don't have that creative push, someone to push them. Like you said, your mentors pushed you. You may not have wanted to learn how to, like you said, push that knife, but they made sure you knew how to do it and knew how to do it well.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't get that from a video game. I'm sorry, it just is not there.
Yeah.
And our young people are stuck in that mode, in video game.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got to break down those walls, and it starts with being present. It starts with being engaged, and building trust. I think that's where it starts. No matter which city you're in, from Brooklyn to Oakland to Colorado Springs, it doesn't matter. Like, you have to make an effort, and I think once you do that point, the first thing I ask a lot of young people is, who wants to make $1 million? And the first, they all hands up. They all want to make
hands
money.
Up.
So my question is, what is your plan? Because if you do not have a plan, that vision is just a hallucination. And you have to be able to learn a skill to pay your bills. I don't care what you want to pursue. Figure out whatever skill is going to pay your bills, because that's the quickest way to becoming an entrepreneur. That's the quickest way to becoming a business owner. This is the fastest way to start to see a return on your investment. So, if you want to be creative, go be creative, but make sure that you learn a skill set, whether it's wiring, becoming an electrician, or it's being a chef, or it's learning how to work on cars. Whatever the skill is, learn the skill, because that will be your fallback plan.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, my sister just finished her culinary. And I'm so proud of her. She's working in an Italian restaurant now as a manager. And it's really, really I see her glow after doing this. That mentoring and that support, no matter what it is important when people are trying to move their life along. And like I tell anybody, people can see when you really are trying, and the universe will bring you all kinds of help. It's like all you have to do is put it out there and it just shows up. You didn't even do nothing. And you're like, wow. But that's how it is. Wow, brother chef brother. I don't know which one.
I know, I did the same thing. I was saying, brother
I
chef.
am so happy to have you. Yeah, first chef. So we are definitely honored about that. And we are looking forward to more collaborations because we want to definitely get into your program and talk about how people can get involved with that and really dig deep into some of the other things that you offer. So again, how do people get in contact with you?
Yeah, no, please follow me at Chef Brother Luck across the board. Check out our website, chefbrotherluck.com. You can see our story everywhere from YouTube to TikTok to Facebook to Instagram. We're all over the place. But it's genuine, it's authentic. And I think that's something that's so important is to be authentic. And I don't know, God's blessed me with a lot of beautiful things in life. And the story that I have today is not the story that I was supposed to be destined for. And I could have been many other places, but here I am today. And it's about giving back. It's about helping.
Yes, absolutely. All day long. I feel like that's what we're here for. We figure it out, then we give back. Yes. And even when we figuring out, we always giving in some kind of small way,
Mm-hmm.
And as far as I always believe that you're going to be learning till you leave this earth. It's always going to be something new. And like my mother used to say, a baby can teach you something.
Yeah, especially how to laugh and smile.
Absolutely.
Remember, yes. I do not crack a smile when a baby is smiling at you. You've got to smile.
Yes, you do. Well, thank you again, Chef Brother. We truly, truly appreciate you, and we definitely want you to come back and share more of your life and your story and all the things that you're doing. So thank you so, so much.
Absolutely. We're just warming up.
All right. That's what I like to hear.
Thank you for tuning in to Just Minding My Business Radio. I'm your host, Ida Crawford.
And I'm your co-host, Ruth Haskins.
We hope you enjoyed the show and appreciate you stopping by. Many blessings to you and yours.